This lesson is complex fraction part 2. Here is an example. On top I have subtracting fractions. In the bottom I have adding fractions. Again, subtracting fractions on top, adding fractions in the bottom. So let's take care of the top first and then the bottom next. So for the top, cross multiply 1 times a squared. Don't forget the minus. Okay, 1 times 1 is 1. And then under multiply 1 times a squared gives me a squared. So that's for the top. Now let's do the bottom, same procedure. 1 times a is a. Don't forget the plus. A squared times 1, a squared. And then multiply the bottom, a squared times a, which is a squared. Okay, so again, I have subtracting fractions and I have adding fractions. Do the top first and then do the bottom second. Okay, so one more time, cross multiply 1 times a squared. Don't forget the negative, and then 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, multiply the bottom, 1 times a squared. Okay, repeat that process for the bottom fractions. So 1 times a is a, put the plus, a squared times 1, a squared. Now multiply the bottom, a squared times a gives me a squared. Okay, next let's factor this out first before we do the keep, change, flip. Okay, so a squared minus 1. Now I'm going to put a note down here. A squared minus 1 is a perfect square. Since it is a perfect square, you can do a minus 1, a plus 1. You can only do this if it's a perfect square. One more time. A squared minus 1 becomes a minus 1, a plus 1. Only if it's a perfect square. So this is a perfect square formula where I have a squared minus b squared equal, you can rewrite it as a minus b, a plus b. Okay? Or sometimes this formula is also called difference of square. So we have difference of square. So you can do a minus 1, a plus 1. Again, only if it's perfect square. So on top, a squared minus 1 is rewritten as a minus 1, a plus 1 because it is a difference of square. Or perfect square, you can do that. Okay? Now a2, just leave it as is. For the bottom, I factor out an a, and I factor out an a is here. So a plus a squared. So this a, it belongs to this a. A squared has 2 a's. So I took out one of the a, and that leaves me 1 plus a. Okay, so I took out the a here and here, and I put it in the front, and then I have 1 plus a, and that's what I have here. Or you can reverse the inside. A plus 1, it is the same thing. So here where I'm circling, if you use this format or the bottom, it is the same thing. Okay, so a plus a squared is rewritten as a parentheses a plus 1, and then the bottom a squared, just leave it as is. Okay, now fractions divide fractions. Keep, change, flip. Okay, so keep, change, flip. So keep, the top I keep, which I have down here. Change the divisions to multiply, and then the bottom is being flipped. One more time. Keep, which is here. Change, multiplications, and then the bottom right here is being flipped. Okay, so once it is flipped, anything that is the same cancel. So a plus 1 cancel. A squared cancel. A and this a cancel. One more time. A plus 1 gone. A squared gone. A plus a also gone. The only thing you have left is a minus 1, and that will be our answer. So be very careful, okay, when you have subtracting fractions, adding fractions, make sure you know how to subtract and add fractions, which came out to be this. you can factor first, and then after that, from here to here, I factor out first, factor first, and then keep, change, flip. Or you can do keep, change, flip, and then factor, which still come out to be the same. Okay? So keep, change, flip, cancel what you can, and anything else that is not canceled, that becomes our answer. Okay? So that's the first example. Next example, same situations. Here I have subtracting fractions, and in the bottom there's nothing to do, so leave that alone. So let's rewrite a as a over 1 minus 25 over a. Now cross multiply, a times a gives me a squared. Don't forget the minus. 1 times 25 is 25. 1 times a is a. Okay, so the top is this. Now in the bottom, a plus 5 can be rewritten as a plus 5 all over 1, so that I can have fractions divide fractions. Okay, and a plus 5, there's nothing to do, just leave it alone, but write it over 1 so that I have fractions divide by fractions. Okay, so keep, change, flip, keep, change, flip. So keep, that's what I have here, change to multiplications. The a plus 5 over 1 is being flipped. Okay, after that, factor out. Now a squared minus 25 is a perfect square, just like what I have up here. Since it is a perfect square, I can write it as a minus 5, a plus 5. Because a square is perfect square, 25 is also a perfect square. Okay, and this is called difference of square, because this is a square and this is also a square. Okay, so a square minus 25 is rewritten as a minus 5, a plus 5. Okay, and then over a times 1 over a plus 5. Okay, anything looks the same, cancel. If you cannot cancel, that becomes our final answer. So all I have left is a minus 5 and then all over a. Okay, so be very careful. Be very careful with the perfect square. This is a perfect square. This is also a perfect square. The a square is a perfect square. 25 is also a perfect square. And since they are perfect square, you can rewrite it as a minus 5, a plus 5. Okay, why 5? Because 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, so be very careful.